Hi, so Toya Hart. I am the breakup girl, and tonight I am going to respond to a question that came in. Well, a conversation that I was having on my personal page on Facebook, and there was a person that came to my page, and they were talking about how when you first meet someone, they're this really amazing person. They do amazing things for you, make you smile, make you happy, and things are just great. And as the relationship progresses and you kind of move past the honeymoon phase, you begin to see this different person, someone very different from the person that you saw initially. This happens more frequently than you might expect or imagine. The reality is, everyone enters a relationship with some expectation, and everyone has a motive, right? Some people's intentions are good, while other people's intentions aren't in the best interest of the person that they get into a relationship with. This is why it's so critical for you to take your time and pace yourself to and invest in really getting to know a person before getting into a serious relationship, for the very reason that some people get into relationships for unknown and undetermined reasons. In my own personal experience, I've seen people get into relationships with men that ultimately want to abuse them mentally, emotionally, and also for financial gain. There are men in this world that will manipulate women into having their way by any means. And the way that they are able to do this is, initially, when you're in that honeymoon phase, they wow you. And they come into the relationship knowing that this isn't something that they intend to sustain long term. It's something that they're doing for the moment because they have an end goal in mind, something that they aren't going to be out in the open and communicate to you. But they do have an end goal in mind, and the goal is to take advantage of you ultimately. And what you will see is, men that are like this, there there is a pattern with them, and you'll see history, you'll see a cycle of them getting into and out of relationships and it following the same pattern. So one of the key things that you have to look for when you first begin dating someone is, what does their dating history look like? Do they get into long term? Have they been in long relationships that maybe there was a difference of opinion or something of that relation, something of that nature, or the two grew apart and the relationship ultimately dissolved? Or are you dating someone that has been a serial dater and they have a new girlfriend or a new love interest every 2 to 3, maybe 6 months, and the pattern is the same? They come into the relationship, they wow the person. Shortly after they take advantage of the person discovers that they are, I guess, a fraud, for lack of a better word. They determine that that person is a fraud and they walk away from that person. The person just finds another female to leech onto, and the cycle just repeats itself. The best thing that you could do, as I said earlier, is to pace yourself. Take your time, get to know a gentleman when you first meet them, get to know their family and their friends, and really take a deep dive into who this person actually is. What are their core values? What are their long term and short term goals? What is the purpose and intent for them dating? When you begin to answer this question, ask these questions, and get the answers to these questions, one or two things will happen. The person will become frustrated and reveal who they are early on, or the person will completely disappear because they realize that you are going to do your due diligence and you are really going to take the time to get to know who they are. You're working to identify and reveal them for who they are. And people that have an intent that is not good and have the intent to use people, they will immediately exit your life when they know that you're going to make things a little more difficult for them. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. If this message has resonated with you, please invite others to check it out. My goal is to touch as many lives as I can to motivate and inspire and empower ultimately billions of women around the world. So please feel free to share this video with anyone. And again, if you have any questions, post them in the comments below. I thank you for joining me today, and I'll catch you in the next video.